I don't know if this is a myth, but every time that I drink Coke, I tap the top of it because someone told me once that it stops it from exploding.
It's supposed to.
Is it real?
I don't think so.
Absolutely a myth.
Yeah, I don't think
I
that's
do
real
it
at all.
every single time.
Yeah, I
Maybe
usually
look
just-
like a crazy person.
Do you first shake the can and then tap it?
No, that would be weird.
Well, people use reductive reasoning. I tap it every time, and it never explodes. Well, yeah.
That's true.
Think about it in terms of like
It's the same
pressure.
with Pokemon evolving on your Game Boy Color. You're like, yeah, you tap the B button and it catches the Pokemon faster. It's
Oh, you're right.
Evolving or whatever.
I
No,
always
but
did that,
that's
no matter
real
what.
though.
The evolving thing is. The catching thing is not.
Oh.
I don't think tapping
On
buttons.
the third shake, you're supposed to hit the button, and that
hold it,
guarantees
yeah.
that it holds it.
Are you sure?
That's the thing I always did.
I don't
didn't-
think that's true.
I think with evolving, it just canceled it, right?
Yeah,
but with
evolving it does just cancel it.
it was just like one of those.
But like people would think it was like tapping A made it evolve faster, or there was some myth behind it. But yeah,
yeah,
B just makes it.
when
That was the
Pokeball
only
is
way to
shaking,
get-
you hold it. Like even when I knew that was just like kind of a myth, I still did it anyways
Yeah.
because it felt like it worked.
What myth? I mean, it's a fucking it's
One
a
in 5
computer
times it
program,
did.
and you're pressing a button. It's doing something. It's taking in that input.
I
I mean, that's true. Yeah.
But does that input have an effect? Who
No.
can say?
If it doesn't, then
You know what? We should test it.
Made me
Yeah.
feel good.
Yeah.
though.
Mythbusters.
One must.
Game Busters.
There have been a few shows like that. Like, we're going to tackle gaming myths, and then they run out like three myths in. Well, whatever. I'm gonna roll the thing.
I did. Oh, does that mean I have to stop talking?
Ooh, good
That's
thing.
cool. Who cares?
I did a video series once with a company in Salt Lake who makes silencers for weapons,
Cool.
and it was testing the way that silencers sound in game versus when you're actually shooting them in real life.
Do that.
And is it
because
nothing
they,
at all the
they
same?
actually
Yeah.
don't. Silencers
like a
don't.
cough,
They
right?
don't silence weapons at all. They just suppress them so that it doesn't hurt your ears. It's
Oh.
just better so people don't get ear damage. It doesn't actually make weapons quiet. They're still super loud.
Huh.
Yeah, there you go.
So James
Take
Bond.
that,
is
Gaming
video
alive.
game.
myth busted.
Yeah. All those Tom Clancy books I read were
It's not true
abject
at all.
lies.
Yeah.
I remember I read the Rainbow Six book, and they talked about how their super sweet SWAT silencers made it just sound like somebody coughing.
Totally not a thing.
Dang.
I mean, maybe the SWAT ones,
Yeah,
but
they should make a realistic shooter where you can get a silencer for your gun, but it never actually does anything. Your gun's just as loud.
yeah, but if you don't equip it, it physically does hurt your ears through the
It
headphones.
hurts your real life ears.
Do silencers break as quick as they do in some of those video games?
I don't imagine so, but we didn't test that. But we
Okay.
did test like another one of the myths is that in games, if you have one equipped, your gun will generally do like have shorter range. The opposite is actually true with the suppressor. So we
I would
like tested
imagine-
that.
yeah,
and
I
then
imagine it
actually
would
bullets
rifle
go,
it,
yeah,
yeah.
it goes further if you have a suppressor on it, which is really strange.
Straighter,
Yeah.
maybe too.
Bust
Yeah,
it
probably.
again.
Yeah.
The game balance is always like trade damage for silence for some reason.
Yeah.
It's
Some
minus
Video
10.
games.
It's dumb. Hey, everybody, welcome to a rumored bullet dude soup. It might come out this year, even though that's incredibly unlikely. I'm your host, Lauren Sontag, joined by a panelist of PlayStation experts, since we are about to discuss the PlayStation 5. First up is PlayStation enthusiast Jacob Fullerton. How are you, Jacob?
I don't own a PlayStation.
And then somebody that I will still not introduce properly, Alanah.
Hey, what's up? I'm Alanah.
That's Alanah, everyone's favorite. And then PlayStation hater, Omar. You're not actually, but I have to,
Yeah, I have to be the other side of the spectrum from Jacob.
We need to cause an argument here right at the start.
I don't know.
Jacob is happy man. I'm going to be sad man.
Do you
There
own a
you go.
PlayStation?
I do own a
Okay.
PlayStation.
All right. We're on Team
But I
owns
hate it.
PlayStation.
He loves it and
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
own one.
You own it passive aggressively, like just so
Yes.
you can get mad
Yeah,
at
I
it.
hate own it,
Just
which is not
sneer
far
at
from
it.
the truth, actually.
I love it, but I wish I had it.
Well, Lawrence, you played through Persona 5, right?
Yeah.
So you definitely have a PlayStation.
Oh yeah, I put a lot of time on PS4. There's been a lot of great games.
Yeah, I agree.
There's also a lot of great sponsors for this program.
Hey.
Dollar Shave Club and Mac Weldon. You can get your Dollar Shave Club starter kit for just $5 at dollarshaveclub.com/dude. And you can get 20% off your Mac Weldon order by going to macweldon.com and using our promo code DUDE. More from them later. But first, the ad rolls are not done. No, I'm going to plug this off the top of the show this time because we need money. We need people to come see us. We're doing a live show April 26th on Thursday. No, there is not a very popular monumental movie that's screening that night, so don't think about that. Instead, think about this awesome show. I got a little promo for you, a little tease out the mystery a little bit. We made a weird show, and we all play characters, and those characters are espousing a cult that we also made up. That's kind of what the show's about. It's still funny, I promise. Maybe a little weird. Anyway, here's a clip introducing one of those many characters.
The issue with most ugly people is that they don't come to our show. If they do come to our show, they will become beautiful.
Funhaus Live returns to the Regent Theater in downtown LA April 26th. Head to ticketfly.com for tickets and details.
Hey, there's some PlayStation 5 rumors speaking about the upcoming exclusive that no one here has access to, God of War.
Not at all.
Wait, no, I think... Wow, who cares? Oh, yeah.
We're allowed
sorry.
to say that we have played it. Yes.
There you go.
We have played it.
You have
It's
played
a
it.
video game.
Yeah, it exists. Or will exist soon. One last note for the live show. It's going to be weird and funny. Please come watch it. That's Thursday, April 26th at the Regent Theater in downtown LA. And if you want to get tickets, there's going to be a link in the description. You can go check that out. But if you're listening over audio, we made a little short URL to make it easy for you guys. It's bit.ly/FHLive2. So bit.ly/FHLive2.
All lowercase.
Yeah, all lowercase. I don't. Does
Bitly
capitalization
used to
matter?
be case sensitive. I don't know if it still is, but it might be.
So it's time, guys. It's been 5 years since the last consoles launched. So
That is bananas to me, by
Already?
the way. That
Goodness
it's been
gracious.
5 years since all that bullshit with them two things coming out.
I think it doesn't feel that way because of the Pro and the X. It
Yeah.
feels like they've been extended as a result of that.
I think also the popularity of the Switch put a weird timestamp on this generation.
You're right.
Because
Being
it was-
last year, it's like,
Well,
wait,
yeah,
what?
it was last year, and it's still like, I mean, it's this generation, but it's still Nintendo, so it's last generation. or
5
whatever.
years though. That's like more than half the lifespan of the previous generation already. Like the 360 and the
Oh,
PS3
wow.
and stuff.
Oh, I see.
Well, how long was
What
that
like,
generation?
8 or
Eight,
that
I
was
think.
rather long.
That was
Yeah.
the longest.
Because those
Till
came
then,
out
right?
in
Yeah.
I think so.
06. So it was 06 to 13. Yeah,
Yeah.
7 years. So yeah, it's there's been some rumors going around. We'll recap those real quick. This generation does feel weird, and I think another reason is that like graphics got good enough that they didn't seem immediately dated. You know, there's no Toy Story that would be like, man, if games could look like that, they do look like that and better. I don't know that anyone's really like, man, why can't my video game look like Transformers 5?
Well, I mean,
Look at
the,
all them voxels.
Yeah,
the
voxel
two
and
most
shit.
popular games right now are Fortnite, which is cartoony in art style, and PUBG, which kind of looks like butt. So we're kind of at a point where it's hit a peak and people don't care as much as they did in back in the Crisis days.
Looks
you
like
know?
muddy asshole. Yeah, there was like Horizon Zero Dawn looks gorgeous.
It does.
God of War looks very good.
It does.
I think Gears 4 looks really amazing on a 1X.
Oh,
Forza
so
Horizon.
The Witcher 3 with the X enhancements
those-
is really gorgeous too.
So you're still getting wowed by the current generation. There was always this malaise heading into the later years of every generation, Super Nintendo, N64, PS1, where you can see the next thing, and it's so obviously better than this thing. But now it's just like, well, they're still making amazing games, and they're like Pro and 1X now have bumped up the spec quite a bit. So I feel like there's just not hunger for new hardware in the way that there used to be. But that doesn't stop Sony apparently. So yeah, Semi-Accurate claim to this article is intense, and I'm gonna read it because man, Charlie Demergian, you got a chip on your shoulder, bro.
What website is this?
Semi-Accurate. So
With 2 or 3 C's, I can't decide which.
yeah, it's 3. That's wrong.
That's wrong.
They fucked up their own headline, and their own headline is Semi-Accurate gets some PlayStation 5 Next details.
Yeah, they put their name in their headline.
And
That's-
spelt it
yeah,
wrong.
there's-
Well, I mean, it's still it is self-validating because it is semi-accurate. Anyway,
PlayStation gets another number, we get another C.
so here's the article. Semi-Accurate is back with a bang, and that bang is Sony PlayStation 5 / next specs and timetables. Unlike others simply to be charitable to them, speculating for clickbait headlines, we have real info about the silicon and status of the consoles. You might recall when Semi-Accurate told you about the different console cycle of the current gen consoles back in 2013. Back then, we said there would be a PS4 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, etc. We also said the current gen consoles would be upgraded and not replaced from the ground up. Evolution, not revolution. People laughed. Devs laughed. We now have the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, and they aren't laughing.
Get to the news, damn it.
It's just a bunch of self-indulgent
It really
masturbation.
is.
Before they hit you with the sales pitch, you have to subscribe to Semi-Accurate to the tune of $1,000 a year to get their sweet article.
What the hell?
Yeah.
$1,000 a year?
They have professional and student level subscribers. You got to sign up for their business. But luckily,
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
I thought it was just a joke.
I
you were
did
making.
too.
They're a new Wall Street Journal, man. Whatever. Okay, so Reset Era sort of summarized the bits out of it. We're going to respect Semi-Accurate and not, just post wholesale or read wholesale the article itself because, hey, they're independent outlet. They're allowed to do whatever they want with the information they obtain. But here are the bullet points as summarized by Lazy, L-L-A-Z-Y on Reset Era. It says it uses AMD's Navi as its base architecture, not specifically using Navi, just the architecture. The CPU is a custom Zen chip. They say a large amount of dev kits have gone out. The author suggests that a 2018 release of the PS5 is not out of the question based on the amount of dev kits released, as this is, quote, a sure sign that the launch is getting close. That's fucking wrong, but I'll get to that in a minute.
That is, yeah.
They also say VR goodies are baked in at the silicon level, which also doesn't make sense. Maybe it means that there's a system on a chip dedicated to help rendering VR, but VR is just video games. You just have to render it twice since it's stereoscopic. So I don't understand what that could possibly mean.
I mean, but you're probably exactly right that it's a dedicated chip doing that extra offloading that instead of the little box on the outside, it'll be on the inside.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. So those are the quick summary bits of the semi-accurate article. More recently, PSU ran a story on April 10th. It says PS5 leak looks totally fake, but you be the judge. There are some further details. So basically the narrative is Semi-Accurate ran their story, and then there was an actor somewhere behind the scenes that started sending out this PDF to a ton of gaming websites. So you can either surmise that dev kits went out and a ton of different people started leaking information, or someone made some shit up and someone else on the internet started swimming in the wake of that news to like parrot and punch up that information. I've seen it happen both ways. Anyway, PS5 details and continue on. It's 100% backwards compatible with PS4 games, fully compatible with PSVR and PlayStation Move. They say the AMD Zen CPU has 8 cores and that the GPU has 14.2 teraflops. And then they say 32 gigabytes of GDDR6 technology, which is also pretty absurd, and a 1 terabyte solid state drive.
What is Zen? Is that their like server class CPU or something?
Good question. Let's look it up here.
Also, what do you think about the fact that like CPU architecture has to be fundamentally changed because of all the shit that happened recently?
Oh,
so like
Spectre
development,
and stuff like that?
Development of new CPUs is severely behind on both like x86 and 64.
I don't know. Well,
and Bitcoin's ruining everything also.
Yeah, and then also you have Bitcoin is ruining my day, not letting me buy a 1080 anywhere.
Yeah, you're getting into some heavy topics. It's hard to say. System or like bespoke CPUs, ones that are made for a specific computer, they don't have to be multifunction. They support their one instruction set and that's it.
But do you think they'll make a console that isn't just x86 now?
No.
Or 64?
No way.
They won't ever do Cell again.
No, they won't.
So like, yeah, them doing a bespoke chip won't really happen?
Well, it's bespoke in the sense that it doesn't, like, it only has to run the operating system that they throw on it. And then the games make calls to that operating system that then talks to the chip.
Right. So
it would support x86, but they can also just lock out a lot of the extra stuff. Although I guess somebody could fuck with it. I to be honest, I don't have a core enough understanding of the software vulnerabilities that Intel had in their chips. My understanding, and Omar, feel free to chip in more information.
Yeah, I probably have the same understanding you do, though.
Yeah, it seemed like it was possible to skim the like look ahead functionality that CPUs do.
Exactly.
So CPUs will try and anticipate what you're about to do and get it all ready to go for you. But if you can see that, then you know what the CPU is about to do, or you can misdirect it.
Well, also you can work backwards from that to access memory that you don't have access to. Mm-hmm. And that was the exploit that was happening is they were looking at the look ahead stuff and then reverse engineering that information to find things in memory that they didn't have access to. And so they basically shut down, like the fix was to shut down all that pre-processing stuff. Mm-hmm. And so now they have to re-architecture all these new chips coming out that don't have the same kind of exploit in their pre-process thing.
Yeah, this is a pretty high level guess, but in the sense that like, so on a computer you can interrupt. I could just like palm slap the keyboard, and the computer would have to react to all those inputs. A console has a smaller possibility space.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So in a console, it's got like a dedicated portion of the hard drive or RAM to save like sleep stuff to. So when it goes into instant wake or whatever, but you're either running the game running an OS, maybe you have an app in the background, like Spotify or something like that, and that's kind of it. So it's not like you can just sideload an OS onto it in PlayStation 3 RIP and do whatever you want with the processor. So by locking out a lot of multifunctionality that desktop CPUs have to use, they're able to sort of fine-tune what is there directly down a path of intended operation, which means they may not have to deal with those security flaws. They're also going with AMD instead of Intel, supposedly, which makes sense to me. AMD's been supplying console chips for a long ass time.
I mean, that's their bread and butter now, right? It's like
pretty much that's where they get all their money from these days. The thing that I guess when you step up a bit and think about, are these rumors feasible? First of all, I think this thing coming out in 2018 is thoroughly not feasible for a number of reasons. One is that it kind of implies a misunderstanding of what a dev kit is and how it works. Dev kits come in waves, and the initial dev kit is usually just a PC that's kind of got a loose target spec on it. And all that's meant to do is to tell developers this is roughly the amount of power you'll have to play with. And that has nothing to do with what the system architecture will be. And it has very little to do with how the games will run on the end systems. It's just, hey, if you want to start blue skying about the games you can make, and you want to start hiring up for those projects, this is sort of the corral you'll have to put your game into. And if that's what these specs are coming from, that kind of makes sense.
I was at Quantic Dream, who are making Detroit Become Human, just 2 weeks ago, and they were still using PS4 dev kits. And I believe they're working on whatever their next game is. No one said that to me. That's just like kind of what I infer from being there for a week. But yeah, they're definitely still not using any new dev kits, and then not a first-party studio, but one that has a very close relationship with PlayStation. So I'd be surprised if they didn't.
Yeah, and well, even if they did, they would probably get one, and it would probably be in some basement behind two locked doors, because this is the kind of thing that, as demonstrated, people tend to run away with if they get any drip of information about. And hey, we're doing a podcast on it too, so whatever.
The 100% backwards compatible PS4 games thing, I don't buy that for a second.
Really?
No.
I feel like that is the future. Like if they do another console shift where you don't get to play the games that you already own, people will go fucking ballistic.
But people don't care right now.
They don't use it, but they say they care about it.
That's why. But I feel like doing a PS4 Pro and an Xbox One X set up the expectation that I have longevity with my purchases.
Oh, right. Like, sorry, I'm thinking all PlayStation games is PS4 games. You're right. I believe it will be backwards compatible with PS4 games. You're right. I completely read that incorrectly.
Oh.
But
not all
at the same point,
PlayStation
I think
games.
it's also probably going to be, instead of a PS5, I imagine if any of this is true, it's going to be a PS4 point something else as well.
Really?
Like maybe it's a Pro Slim. I just don't imagine we're at a point where a PS5 is here yet.
When did the Pro come out? Last year?
Yeah.
Just barely last year?
But neither one of them,
beautiful.
neither one of those refreshes did all that well, right? Sales wise.
I think
hearing about
that
it.
Pro met expectations.
Yeah, I feel like both
I
of
don't
them.
know about. Well, the X pre-sold out, and they didn't expect that. You're totally right. Though I was reading that as all PlayStation.
Yeah, I think they're bundling together all PlayStation brand sales, which is something they do. That's a pretty common tactic.
Yeah, from what I remember hearing, and this could be totally wrong or whatever, or old information, is that neither one of those did what they thought they were going to do. And like Xbox especially, they were looking at it like, okay, we're finally the more powerful console. We're going to take over the market now. And like people were like, oh, there's like two things that I can buy right now that take advantage of this increased hardware. I'm not going to re-spend my console money on something I already own.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
like I don't own a Pro.
I know
don't
Phil
own an
Spencer was
X.
saying he expected the X to just be for hardcore gamers and never expected everyone to buy it. I don't know what Sony's stance was though. Like it's a different thing because they technically announced it first, I think,
Yeah,
seemed
because
to
it was
be a
still back
VR
when
play.
Xbox was Scorpio.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember. That's all. It's all.
It's all very confusing now. Remember when PSVR was Morpheus or whatever? the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
Like, just,
Yeah, were the
Come
Pro
a
and
long
the
way.
X, were they supposed to be like on par with each other? Like according to whichever came out first? Or
I remember Microsoft was very adamant about
Theirs
the X being a
being
more
more
powerful.
powerful.
system.
Oh, and it is.
oh yeah, it for sure is.
By the
yeah.
math of it, it is more powerful, but PlayStation has more exclusives.
Yeah.
yes, they do.
That sort of thing. Their controller dies every 20 minutes. I'm still bitter about this. I just need to get a new one. I've been using the same one since launch, so yeah, it's probably about time
Oh,
to
wow.
refresh. No, it's all I read into the Pro thing. There used to be a lot of venture capital in any VR project, and giant companies like Sony they still want money, and I don't know that they were necessarily courting outside investment. but it was the sort of thing where every tech-forward company had to have a VR project.
Yeah.
And I think that the Pro was their solution to needing more power for VR-related games. Because PlayStation 4 can do VR, but it's not great.
But is it the PlayStation 4 that is at fault, or the headset itself? Because isn't the resolution refresh rate on that headset is not that great?
I would
That's
think
true.
a combination of both.
But it is a combination of both. If you have a normal PS4 and you run it through PSVR, it still doesn't even hit the resolution that headset can support.
That's
PS4
crazy.
Pro gets better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Well, I remember with the Scorpio announcement, they had Pete Hines saying, like, Skyrim will run on this better than any other console or whatever, even though, or in VR specifically, even though we don't have VR for Xbox yet.
There was supposed to be a first-party VR solution, wasn't there?
for Microsoft.
From Microsoft.
I kind of wondered if they
It was
somehow
like a
partnered
Rift.
with Oculus.
It was
Initially,
Yeah.
was they
it
said
was a
something
Rift
about
thing
Oculus?
but was first party though.
Yeah.
Just like the
Nothing came
Gear,
of that.
the Gear VR was like a Samsung Rift.
I do remember when Oculus had their big presser, Microsoft came out.
Well, they partnered with the Xbox One controllers. And
Yeah,
everything.
they said the controllers will come with every headset. I don't remember the partnership going back the other way.
Yeah, this is all before Palmer Luckey turned out to be a crazy person
Yeah.
and
Good
all that shit
times.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were simpler days.
All I could assume was that it was their like show of goodwill that they still supported gaming on PC, even though
Yeah.
it was through the Xbox brand. But yeah, I don't know. I guess okay. So rolling it back to the PS5 stuff. If I were to put my little stamp on it, to me it sounds like yes, maybe there is a PC that got shipped to developers that is called a PS5 dev kit, but given the timetable, a lot of people have thrown around 2020. I think that's much more reasonable.
Yeah.
Especially given the specs that are here. Also, early dev kits tend to overshoot in terms of power by a great degree, and then once the hardware gets more refined, you can dial back some of the power because the system's operating more efficiently.
It also says down the bottom there, the latest PS5 document is full of grammar errors, which is a huge red flag.
And oh yeah, they also mentioned it uses a template similar to the PS4 Pro leak in 2016, which was proven to be accurate but appears far less professional. So it seems like with this round of it, semi-accurate stuff may have been accurate, but this stuff seems like somebody just took that old PDF, swapped out a lot of the numbers, and then tried
Yeah.
to pass it around as a leak.
Yeah.
So, take it with a grain of salt. I think it's always one of those things where, like, yes, there probably is a PS5 in development. Yes, Sony probably has a rough idea of what it's going to look like. But that spec has to be finalized, and it has to go to manufacturing. And those are two very big milestones that I promise you, haven't happened with PS5 yet. It takes half a year of Chinese factories churning around the clock to crank out silicon to get it into a box
Yeah.
and ship it to stores.
And typically once that does happen, you'll end up with shitloads of pictures from factory lines or whatever
Absolutely.
of like, this is what the box looks like, this is what the case
That's
looks
why
like.
they usually show us the case before they get to that point.
Yeah.
There was a good question on the chat from, I think it was someone called like Parcel Moose or something, that was, what are the chances PS5 won't have a disc tray?
Oh,
I think they're
It's 2020, it could happen, but I think
I don't know.
people
I
are
think
going to
odds
watch
are low.
Blu-ray DVDs for a long time.
Also, Microsoft fell on that sword really hard.
Yeah.
I don't think Sony wants anything to do with that backlash.
Yeah.
Unless somebody else does it first.
I don't
also
think.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I don't think the average person who like goes out and buys video games for their kids or something
Yeah,
is
you're
gonna defer to
I do
digital
think it'll
downloads.
get there eventually. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
absolutely.
do. And it's interesting because I think all of the stuff that Microsoft did try to do with the Xbox One terrible launch was like, if you guys had done this in 10 years, everyone would have been like, oh yeah, no, it checks out.
Well,
but it was just like they did too much too soon and it was awful.
Yeah.
They could have even messaged it better.
Yeah, that was
I
the
mean,
problem,
yeah.
right?
It
It
was-
wasn't the
'cause
The
it was
fact.
online
Steam.
only thing.
It was just Steam, and
Yeah.
everyone loves Steam, but they said it in the wrong way in the wrong order.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "You mean I can't trade my games? Well, can you trade a Steam game? You love that shit, but
yeah.
anyway,
You don't even own the games you buy on Steam.
yeah, you
You're just
license them,
leasing them.
basically." And
Yeah.
but it's crazy now with One X. You can see the thinking in reverse, and it makes a lot of sense to me now, where they're like, "Okay, we got 360 and original Xbox rolling out on the One X, and all those games are also punched up
Yeah.
automatically." So it makes sense when, Omar, to what you were referring to, now the Xbox brand, it's not about I have this chunk of plastic. It's I have access to a library of games I've accumulated over decades. And as new Xbox hardware comes out, I know that library is going to follow me, and it'll improve over time automatically. Which, hey, that's Steam.
Yeah,
Every
it's true.
time you get a new computer, you install Crysis just to see how good it runs. That's the Xbox idea. Oddly, I went back and played Black on my 1X, and it's like
Wow.
1080p 60 widescreen.
Black was a 360 era game.
No, that was OG
That was
Xbox.
original
PS2.
Xbox,
Yeah, that
yeah.
was a PS2 game that I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit. Wow.
Yeah.
And it's surreal because it's still the same game, but it's like crisp and high frame rate. It's fun.
I love old games like that when they get crisp. Like you see GoldenEye or something that is up-res, but the polygons are still the same
Yeah.
size.
The textures are really washy.
And it's just like giant blocks with really sharp edges walking around. It is so funny to me.
It's like before on an old CRT, everything was just blurry enough.
Yeah.
that, like
Yeah.
your mind would fill in all the blanks.
yeah. That's one of the magic things about retro games is your imagination kicks in automatically. But it's time to earn some money. Time to pay the man. You don't want to use imagination when you're shopping for bathing products. Whatever segues, who cares?
Nice.
Dollar Shave Club is sponsoring this podcast, and they offer non-imaginary benefits to you and your hygiene. They have razors, shave butter, shampoo, body wash, toothpaste, everything for your bathroom. They want to conquer your shittier. They also have an executive razor which has an absurd amount of blades. Hold on, I want to show this. You thought it couldn't get any better, and then it did. I'm pretty sure it's six razors, blades. They'll shear everything off your face.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Technology's come a long way. Give me those blades.
But also buttery smooth.
Damn.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you brought that up, Omar. Dollar Shave Club also offers shave butter, which sounds intense, but if you use it once, you'll kind of appreciate immediately the difference between that and shaving cream. Shaving cream is like really foamy and it makes it hard to see your face. Shave butter is like very thin and sheen, but it's still very lubricating. So it lets you see exactly what you're shaving. It lets you see if you've missed any spots. You don't have to like wash down and then palm your entire face to see if you've missed any prickly hairs. So I like it a lot. And they also offer peppermint ass wipes. If you
Those one-up, I mean, I've said it before, those one-wipe Charlie things are probably the best product they have. They're amazing.
yeah, it makes you. It's like yodeling on a mountaintop.
Do
Except in your
men's
own
razors
bathroom.
ever have the soap built into them?
Sometimes.
Little
Yeah.
lotion strips, yeah.
Big fan of those.
I think that.
Ah.
You might be one, yeah.
But you can get a starter kit with a lot of their items, including the One Wipe Charlies, the shave butter, and executive razor for only $5. That's at dollarshaveclub.com/dude. So treat yourself right. Spend $5. Shove some mints in your ass.
Yeah, get some minty up on your butthole. There you go. You'll thank me later.
So many blades.
dollarshaveclub.com/dude. Thank you, Dollar Shave Club. Oh shit! I forgot. I meant to do this off the top, but I forgot. There's exciting Cyberpunk news. Because of course there is every week. You can't wait to play Cyberpunk on your PS5, and it's closer than ever. Let me, nothing but headlines about Cyberpunk. It's breaking all over the place. New Cyberpunk 2077 trailer could be coming soon, claims Comic Book, because there's a job listing on the website for a 3D generalist, quote, to make outstanding visual effects and lighting for trailers, ads, or cutscenes. Wow. Just wow. So they got to hire someone, and then that person's got to work for a few months on a trailer, and then we might see that trailer.
I totally think we're getting something at E3 for this game.
Oh, you
CG
think?
Projekt Red, I think they said they were showing something. Like, there was a story not that long ago that was like, yeah, in the next couple of months there'll be a thing. And they
Well,
were and it just can only be Cyberpunk because I don't think that it's more
That's all
Gwent.
there is.
But that thing will end up being their Twitter account going ping.
It could
or
be.
beep or
It
something.
could be.
Didn't I think someone told me that you have to be active or Twitter will like
Suspend your.
yeah.
Okay.
So they might have just done that so Twitter wouldn't take their account away.
Because they're tied to a business. I don't know. I think we're going to learn more about this game this year for sure, but I don't think it's out for probably, I don't know, another year and a half.
Like it right here. You got a trailer. Wow. The Cyberpunk, man. It's just nothing but activity over at CD Projekt Red. And we'll be back next week to run down all the top headlines.
Cyberpunk Watch.
Are they still making stuff for Gwent? Still adding stuff to it?
Probably.
Oh, man. Gwent's the reason that took me like 3 months to finish Witcher 3.
Really?
Well, same,
Why?
but I never played it outside of Witcher 3.
I didn't. No, I never actually did that. But in the
Yeah.
game, I would spend
played it a lot.
half an hour playing Gwent.
Totally.
I knew somebody who collected the cards when they came out. And,
I don't wanna do
like
that.
physical
Physical
cards.
Oh,
that's
I
kinda
didn't even
cool,
know they
actually.
had physical
Yeah,
cards.
I think that was maybe like a promotional thing, but they definitely played it as a physical game.
Was it Ian?
No, but that's a close guess.
I learned to play the game Liar's Dice from the first Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, cool.
It's a really good party game that I'm sure it exists outside of that game, and that's how I learned to play it and like teach other people the rules in real life. It's cool.
Dice is an easy thing to have cool games for because
It's true.
You just have a pocket full of that stuff.
And you're just like, all right, here's a game based on chance. Let's do it.
You get the kinetics of like slamming dice around.
Yeah.
That only gets more fun the more.
It's great
drunk you
stuff.
Is there more console stuff to talk about?
I mean, I feel like we've run through what's there, but do you guys have? So this is getting kind of weird because I feel like kind of what we were talking about at the outset. The console space has shifted.
Yeah.
It used to be you get your shiny new box, you plug in a launch game to it. Oh, the polygons. It's not quite like that anymore. Now there's more expectation. Online connectivity, your library follows you. Easy grabs for a PS5 would be backwards compatibility, more power, better VR, all that stuff. But are there any functional bits you guys would like to see out of a PS5?
For sure, VR improvement, but console itself is hard to say.
I don't know. VR improvement is hard though because like that fad is going to come and go before they can do anything with this hardware, right?
Yeah.
Like, isn't it a little late for that stuff now? Like, I still say VR would be the future of video games, but no one can figure it out in a time where the internet will remember what they're talking
Well,
about.
how expensive is the PSVR at this point?
Question.
$299. It's got to be less than $300.
So
right?
way cheaper than everything else still.
Yeah, it's all over the place for some reason.
Huh.
Oh, refurb. Hold on.
Yeah.
Launch bundle. $350.
Yeah, that sounds right
That's
to
the launch
me.
bundle. That comes with Worlds.
That's the
Okay.
one thing they should
got a
change
Doom
and should have
VR
changed
bundle for
forever ago
$300.
is the Move controllers.
Oh, that's
Those
right.
suck. They've been around for so long.
They
Update
still look like
those.
that.
Johann Sebastian Joust, though.
They work well enough. And it makes sense to me that
It's
Sony
just
would.
not compared to the Vive or Oculus Touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a giant glowy ball that a camera has to see as opposed to a bunch of IR sensors.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you have your helmet on, it doesn't matter. But line of sight is a problem.
Yeah.
There's some VR, like you can't turn around in VR. It's not room scale. You know, you're supposed to sit in a chair for PlayStation VR to a degree. But yeah, there were times in PlayStation VR I was playing like Resident Infinite, and I'd be doing stuff over my shoulder, or even Resident Evil 7. There's times where you have to like turn around pretty quick or look. And the camera would lose tracking if it like went behind my arm or behind my shoulder. I mean, whatever. These are zero world problems. Oh, my VR won't track appropriately. I better buy like a series of mirrors in my house so it can bounce off of.
Would that work?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Probably
It
not.
would just confuse everything.
Yeah.
But better VR would be
I
cool.
feel like I'm not ready for this yet. I don't know why. It's like maybe it is. It just feels. It feels like if they announced a PS5 at E3 this year that I wouldn't be excited, whereas usually I am. And I think maybe that is because of the iteration recently. I don't know.
I'm ready for console gaming to be what I'm excited about again though. Because like PCs took over that spot for me in like a big way where I didn't even turn on my consoles for a long ass time. But now like PC gaming is getting more complicated than it needs to because you can't buy the shit that you need to buy. Stuff like that. And like I want to be able to just like sit down on my couch and play a video game again or something, you know, like there's something about the simplicity of a console that I know it's going to work with the games that I buy for it
Yeah.
that I miss in video games.
Yeah.
Sony still just keeps churning out incredible exclusives as well. Whereas Xbox, everything is basically also on PC, which I think is consumer friendly. I think that's a good thing, but
Like, you don't even have to buy your console. You can just play it on your PC.
yeah, which I think is like, it's nice of them. They get criticized
I
for
mean,
it. but
it's because they had no choice, right?
That's also true. Yeah, they
Like,
kind
because
of
they're
have
not,
to.
they can't be like, no, you have to buy our console. No one's buying their console, so they have to get their games out.
It's still selling. Like, it's just that it's not selling as well as PS4. Like, they're not, they're not going to flop or anything. But yeah, I think, I don't know. I think the reason that I would still tell anyone to buy a PlayStation 4 if you haven't had one is The Last of Us, God of War, Spider-Man's going to come out. I really like Detroit. Like, they still have so many killer exclusives that if you want single player experiences, it's still totally
and then,
worth
like, Red Dead coming out, it won't be on PC.
Yeah, you're
either,
right.
so-
It's true.
It's going to have to be on console.
yeah.
Yeah, when I think about the spaces that I play video games in, or how a new PlayStation console could factor into that. Yeah, at this point, I pretty much just use it for exclusives, and they're good. But I don't see how Sony can punch that up beyond where it already is.
Right.
The 4 Pro plays exclusives very well. It may not do like 4K 60, but I don't know.
What does it do? Do you know?
I don't know what it max. I mean, it can do 4K, but I think it's more of a processing thing. 4K 60 takes a lot of horsepower, exponentially more than other resolutions. So it can do like checkerboard stuff. I think Wipeout does 4K 60 or checkerboard 4K 60, something like that. There is a game that gets close to that spec.
Is checkerboard like a different interlace?
A bit. My understanding is that it basically takes chunks of the image and renders certain parts of them at higher resolution than others. So the rendering engine gets to skip certain parts. It's almost like video encoding in the way that
like compression. Okay.
Yeah, a bit. That's my very layman understanding of it. It's just the same
This is
thing.
a horrifying ad.
Yeah, David
It's a
Lynch. Man.
PS2 ad?
Yeah,
It's
they
so
keep showing
scary.
it. Well, whatever.
That one's in color.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got color now.
Sorry, we're watching a
Hell
playlist
yeah.
of PlayStation 2 commercials. But yeah, so the big thing I think that has sort of, because to Omar, what you were saying, like sit down on a couch, play a game. I found I'm using that NVIDIA Shield, which streams games from my PC, and it's very reliable and it works very well.
Does the controller hook to that, or does it hook to your PC behind you somewhere?
You can do either. It's got Bluetooth, but the Bluetooth antenna in that thing's not so great. I basically taught myself to use their proprietary NVIDIA Shield controller, which isn't the best, but
Yeah.
it does the job. But lag is pretty appreciably low. It makes most games playable. Like I've been playing Neo, and it hasn't killed me yet. So it's
How do you like Neo?
oh, I like it a lot.
Yeah?
I mean, I love those kinds of games, so I don't mind. Jesus Christ, this commercial. I don't mind. Like you can take Souls and flavor it whatever you want. Like it could be colonial America. I guess it was kind of Bloodborne. They keep harping on this David Lynch commercial. We just saw this one. Come on now.
Yeah, you brought up
There we go.
the Shield. Like, what do you think the chances are that PlayStation would come out with some kind of new portable thing?
Well, they had PlayStation TV, and
Oh, yeah,
no
that's true.
one cared, and that was a great piece of hardware.
It was cool for playing Vita stuff on. It was terrible about streaming PS4.
Streaming bad, but it did like PS1, which I thought was pretty cool.
But that was just like being a TV Vita. It was awesome.
Yeah,
But
that's what I
like
used it
doing
for.
what you do with the Shield was nigh unusable.
Yeah, Sony's experimented with streaming, and to that point, I'm like, what? How could maybe game streaming punch up in a way that would make me much more interested in PS5? The only thing I can think of, and this is sort of a fairy tale that Microsoft was kicking around with their Azure cloud and stuff with the One X, or the Xbox One, basically trying to trying to promise that the lower hardware spec wouldn't matter. If the PS5 were a like puck that fed off USB power, and all it needed was like a hard connection to the internet and an HDMI out, and it cloud rendered everything, and we could do like 4K 60 because there's some server farm somewhere grinding out my Jack and Daxter gameplay. That would be cool. I'd be into that, and I'd probably play around with that a lot. But in terms of like a new box that I plug into my wall that plays games a little bit better, man, games on PC already have hit next gen for me. Like Final Fantasy 15 on PC,
Yeah.
that's a next gen game.
Yeah.
And it's already here. So I'm not waiting for the PS5 to show me what technologically games can become. Even though their exclusives still do that, so I don't know why I'm whining. Like, God of War looks amazing. Horizon Zero Dawn looked incredible.
But it's funny, like I remember when the 64 came out and I was like, wow, this is it. We've hit peak reality. Games will never look better than this. And they still do.
polygons
we
are
still
real.
get there, yeah. But to the handheld question, I think that's a really good one. Like the Switch's success has to have other people being like, wait a minute. Y'all care about this now?
I guess, but
What's
like
up with that?
does that not like just bring even the failure of the Vita? You know, like
Yeah.
taking how awesome the Switch is and how shitty the Vita ended up being. Even though I love the Vita as a piece of hardware, it was amazing.
It was really well designed.
And like the games on it were really cool, and it just didn't have legs for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they can ever come back from something like
Yeah,
that.
you might be right. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's weird too because Nintendo, they didn't, when they launched the Switch, they are ostensibly still supporting 3DS, but that's the one platform right now.
Yeah.
So in Sony's case, I don't know how they could both support a mobile and like living room platform unless they just copied the Switch.
They do it like the Switch, right.
Yeah, portable hardware that you dock.
Yeah.
Which, okay, but Switch already grabbed that audience. So now you have to pull people away from Switch with like all of their properties, which is what they tried to do with Vita, but it didn't work.
It's a good point because like the thing with Switch is like I will literally wait until a game is on Switch because I want to be able to play it portable.
Same.
Two companies can't really do that.
I put Crash Bandicoot down because they announced it for Switch.
Yeah.
I
did
just
that
means
with
I'm buying it
Celeste.
twice,
It was
but-
like I was playing that game and then I was like, oh, but I can play it on Switch.
He was ruining
Never mind.
my life.
Yeah, Celeste is tearing
It's
me up.
really good.
Yeah, I
Get those
squeeze the Switch
strawberries,
so
boy.
hard
Yeah.
when I'm doing those
Man.
B-tapes.
I love the idea of doing that stuff, but the Switch, like as a portable console, just doesn't really work that well for me. Like holding onto it is not awesome because it's so tiny.
Yeah.
Like my hands are way too big for the whatever those motherfuckers are called.
Joy-Con.
Joy-Cons.
Joy-Cons.
Like those things are tiny.
Yeah, they are very
And
small.
like when you have them attached to the thing, you have to like be like this to be able to see the screen and stuff. It's just I don't know. It just the Pro controller is awesome. I love that controller.
Yeah,
It
I
is
agree.
the second best controller I've ever used, I think.
Not
With
even
the Xbox One X or One
the Pro like,
Elite.
Elite.
yeah, like when that one hit the S, I think when they came out with like the little revision to that controller.
I think it's incredible.
that is the best controller in the
Yeah.
world. And then the Pro controller's right under that, but the fucking Joy-Cons are the worst.
They're not great.
Yeah, I definitely think if you had large hands that I would find them annoying. But even then I kind of do. Like my thumbs will slip up. I'll have to be like, all right, can I move this back? And
Yeah.
it totally is an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, so like playing like especially like frustratingly control-y games like Celeste and stuff. It just I don't know how you guys are doing that.
I typically I pick the Switch game based on the environment I'm playing it in. So if I am playing mobile, I'll do like Picross or a puzzle game. But if I can like put it on a table and use a Pro controller, or if it's docked,
Yeah.
then I'll pick something a little more action intense.
I played Dark Souls on it at PAX this weekend.
How is that?
Fine. Like I was
good.
worried about the way that it controls. I also played Wolfenstein actually. That was on a Pro controller. But Dark Souls was. I didn't feel like I was playing it on a Switch, which I think means that
they did it
it's
right.
good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But it is also an older game, so it can handle it. Whereas Wolfenstein was like not great frame rate. didn't look great. Still a work in progress, but that one was more concerning. But it's also a much newer game.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess if Sony can somehow find a niche even broader than Nintendo found with the Switch, but man, I'm hard pressed to think about what that might be.
It's going to be their answer to Nintendo Labo. Make your
That's coming
PlayStation
out
games
soon,
out of
right?
aluminum.
For, yeah, 420.
Yeah, bud.
Yeah,
Nice.
same day as
Friday.
God of War.
I think
Next
that
Friday?
stuff is
Oh my
delightful.
gosh.
I think it's
That's so
delightful.
soon.
I hope we get some in here so we can all look like idiots playing with it.
We got a few on the way.
Oh,
Pre-order.
there's a plan for that.
Yeah. we got
That's right.
we got our content all planned out.
Wasn't there Switch rumors too that you were mentioning earlier?
So,
Ooh.
oh yeah, there's Switch revision rumors, and these are much more believable, which also means they're much less exciting. So this is again via Reset Era. So this is people were diving through firmware updates for the Switch, like just digging through folder structures and all this stuff, and they started to see like new folders pop up, references to new things. I can bottom line it for you. Like the takeaway is that it's possible that the system on a chip inside the Switch, the Tegra, NVIDIA Tegra, might be bumping up a revision. So the current is 210, might be going to 214. There's also some very tenuous links that the system RAM might be going from 4 to 8 gigabytes of RAM. But those two things, even if the Switch has a revision, that's not a new hardware kind of thing. That's just like we found a way to make it cheaper and add some more. I don't know what more RAM could possibly benefit the Switch for.
Yeah, it's kind of like the millions of revisions on the DS. It's DS Lite, DSi. It's the same
Exactly.
thing.
It
It's
means
still
they'll
a
be
DS.
able to put voice chat in the Switch.
inside of the Switch.
I need 4 gigs of RAM for that voice chat. No, to me, this just sounds like kind of like what you were saying. Even within the DSi and DS Lites, those themselves had different model numbers. Because as time goes by, chip manufacturing gets cheaper. There's ways to reduce costs by re-engineering the circuitry, basically. So if there's a bulk of chips that are cheaper or going to become cheaper, I'm just like, well, let's use those and let's figure out how to make the system operate the same way with those. So Nintendo's classically very, very good about driving down hardware costs through hardware revision. So this strikes me as that sort of thing, where it may be that this Switch revision like can task switch just a little bit faster, but it'd be on the order of like fractions of a second probably. But there will be people who call GameStops and they're like, I want to see the model number on the back before I buy this.
Yeah.
I mean, it might. I mean, like you're right. It probably doesn't mean a lot right now, but in the long run,
Could.
like the higher everything is, the more longevity that one has in whatever, you know.
But that also, well, real quick, let me earn some money and then you can ask another question.
Aha.
Yes, this podcast is also sponsored by Mack Weldon. If you're going to take your Switch out, or you take your streaming dockable PS5 onto the bus, you don't want to look like a schlubby little tool. So you better go to Mack Weldon and buy some nice T-shirts and sweatpants, so you can look awesome riding the bus playing your PS5. Mack Weldon says that this will be the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants you'll ever wear. Listen, guys, sweatpants. That's tired. Sweat shorts. That's wired as hell. You're gonna want those.
Summertime.
Yeah, that's right. You can be classy and lazy at the same time. Get yourself some nice. Here we
Look
go.
at that man. He looks happy.
Ooh.
They all look very happy. Look at these. Relax and refined. The sweat short. The modern day intellectuals bottom wear.
Those are actually quite nice, and then I think you could wear those while working out and also casually.
Yeah, because they don't even look like sweat pants
Yeah.
or sweat shorts.
They got pockets.
It's a trick.
Damn.
A good trick.
That's right. So if you, I'm telling you, the way to be an adult is to figure out how to be lazy and like disheveled without appearing lazy and disheveled.
I'm totally doing that wrong.
Sweat shorts are the way to do it. But they also offer an array of other things, as you can see on the website here. They got underwear, undershirts, socks, tops, accessories, all sorts of goodies, and you can get 20% off all of it by using our code DUDE. So just go to MackWeldon.com and load up your cart with all your goodies, and then just put in our code DUDE, D-U-D-E, for 20% off your
Is
whole
that a
order.
waterproof pocket?
Yeah, it's got a little zipper on it. These are swim trunks, board shorts.
And they're expanding.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so you can put your keys and stuff in there, and they won't float away.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Do they have the ball net though? This is something I'm always
the ball
confused
net.
at. Why do
Are you
dudes-
looking for ball net? Or?
No, I hate
okay,
'em.
Yeah, okay.
I've never had a problem with my balls slapping around while I'm swimming.
Wait,
And
that's
if-
a thing?
yeah.
Ball
Dude,
nets?
It's like a hammock inside your trunks.
It's more like a hairnet, like a loose
Yeah.
shower cap.
That sounds invasive.
Yeah, you take a scissor
is.
straight to those.
It's
Get them out of
Wow.
there.
It sucks. There's no reason, and it feels terrible. I mean, somebody has probably like smashed their balls like diving into, and they're like, oh, if
I don't
only
think
there
that's
was
what it was for.
What is it for?
I think it was to keep them from falling out the leg hole.
But they're
You have to have some really long balls
saggy,
for that.
How saggy must your nuts
Shorts
be?
used to be way shorter, dude.
I mean, that
I
is
guess-
true.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Why don't they have boob nets? Boobs always fall out at the beach.
Well,
Isn't
we
that
know.
Well, that's
called a
absolutely an issue.
bikini
There
top?
it
That's
is.
inside out. There's basically like a little panty inside of a men's
Wow.
swim trunk that
Also,
I had
little
no
kids
idea.
keeps a poop in.
Ew.
does
That's
it?
helpful.
Oh, I guess you're right.
I think it
yeah.
just like grates it like Swiss
I'm sorry, the
cheese.
headline of whatever the last image you're on was something about a 5-year-old
what?
boy almost lost penis.
Almost.
Let's click on that.
Is
What's
it
going
Because
on
he's
there?
sticking it through the hole.
Is because it got stuck in his net?
It
Swim
is.
netting. Remove netting from swim shorts after a 5-year-old almost lost his penis when it became stuck. Look at that happy child.
That could have been any of us.
His dick could have gotten scissored off in that thing. God,
Oh no.
I did not know this. You've really opened me up to a whole other world.
this is a scourge on the world, and we need to get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
he
it's
was
a
given
relic of the
local
past.
anesthetic?
Wait, he was screaming a scream I hadn't heard before. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
This is. Oh, look how sad he is.
I hope he's okay, young Mr. Collins.
Looks like he's good.
Jack
Thankfully,
Collins.
he managed to wee, so no lasting damage.
Talks about how he nearly lost his willy on
You
holidays.
know how bad it sucks for that guy when he's 15 and you Google his name when he's like going for a job interview
his
and it's
name
like,
in there?
hey, is your dick okay? Yeah, his name's in there, which is
I got your-
technically
Your willy
you're
stuck.
not
yeah,
allowed
Jack-
to do that.
Jack
Actually,
Collins. Yeah,
'cause
you're not allowed to
kids.
identify a minor.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
this is from
failed
the-
a journalism. There was a class that you would get like fake PR emails, and it was over the course of 2 hours, and you would have to write the news story as though like you were getting scoops. And 90% of the class failed because we said the student from this school, which counted as an identifying factor.
Wow.
It was like bullshit. That's just mean. Come on. You're like, nope, you can't identify a minor. Like, damn it.
Hey, real life is tricky.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, this is the PSA for all you
Don't do it, journalism
summertime
students.
swimmers out
Yeah.
there.
Rip
And
that net
summertime
out.
swimmers.
Rip it out.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Well, I guess going back to the previous topic, what would you guys theoretically like in a Switch revision. Like let's say there's a Switch Lite. I think the obvious ones are like smaller profile, maybe more comfortable
I mean,
controllers.
yeah, smaller profile is not at all what I would want. I would want a bigger one,
Yeah,
like a Switch
sorry.
XL.
Okay.
Virtual
bigger
console?
screen.
Like a
That's
little bit
all I
bigger
really want?
screen, thicker controllers that they could fit more battery in or more rumbles
Yeah,
or
battery's
whatever.
a big one.
I saw someone make a mod so that they could play the Switch vertically, and they managed to get the
Oh.
Joy-Con to work on the wrong sides of the screen.
Oh,
So I think
interesting.
that it wouldn't be hard for someone to make a modded version of a Joy-Con for bigger hands.
well, I mean, just like you could fit more stuff in there. Like they could put more battery in there. They could
Yeah.
do like
Yeah, I don't
whatever.
care if it's fatter.
Yeah, like whatever the thing is, you can make it better by having more space.
Yeah, it's not like a thing that you're like. the
Weight's
thing with
probably an
the-
issue.
Like 3DS is like that's something you could just stick in your pocket.
Yeah.
Like the Switch is something you're never going to put in your pocket, so
You
it can,
have
it
to have
can
a case
linger
for it.
around that kind of.
But weight would be a
larger
problem
size.
if it's too heavy for handhelds. Like that, it has to get to a point where they're like, this is too heavy for
Yeah.
people. When I played Zelda, I played, I don't know, 70 hours in a week or something, and my fingers started to hurt because I was holding the console up for so long.
As someone who's totally not dropped my Switch on my face while falling asleep, they're a little
it's a
heavy.
good weight.
Yeah, it didn't hurt that
hefty.
much.
So wait, did it slip out of your hands or was it a slow bonk?
It was I was kind of like reclining, and then one hand kind of failed.
Oh,
and
so it was a
kinda,
bitch slap?
yeah.
It slapped you?
Yeah, it's like wake up! You got Zelda to
Incredible.
play.
Oh, that's awesome.
This guy is eating a PlayStation.
Yeah, this is really weird. Some Italian dude is cracking open a DualShock and sucking out all the guts, and now a PlayStation has been served to him
Wow.
in a dish. Yeah, this ad's weird.
Yeah, old PlayStation ads are pretty strange.
Yeah, I give Sony credit. They
Oh my
they
goodness.
did a
That's
good
real?
job establishing branding.
Well, this is all like other markets too,
Yeah,
right?
this
Like
is all
the other
Europe,
markets
yeah.
are way more interesting ads than ours.
You're right.
Americans are too dumb to get this, I guess.
All we got was what was it? This is pretty classic. This is I think when Sony was trying to do like viral ads or something.
Uh-oh.
You guys remember this, right?
No.
I'm
Oh.
excited about it, whatever it is.
I do remember this.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
This is a real ad.
Yeah.
This isn't fan made.
I think they contracted an ad company to do it, but this is what they made. He's gonna start rapping.
I love the big screen. So fresh and so clean.
Is that a
All in my dreams.
PSP that he's holding?
Yeah.
It makes me want to scream.
This is for PSP.
PSP, 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 PSP,
Another
How
great
is
handheld
this
that
so
never had a good
bad?
life.
Makes me wanna.
Played a shitload of
Fall asleep.
Luminous though.
Man, those they were such a good form factor because that shit could fit in your pocket. The screen was amazing,
Yeah, it was really
but
good.
it got ripped open instantly and
Oh,
pirated
yeah.
like
Yeah.
crazy. And then they released that PSP Go that was just like, here pirates, here's a better way of pirating all our games because it's set up to run off little hard drives.
There he goes.
I want to buy a PSP so badly
Wow.
right now.
A Switch XL also would work better for what's it called when you put it on the table and you're supposed to play it like
Oh,
that?
yeah, yeah.
Tabletop mode.
I don't know.
And like in like whatever easel mode or something. Yeah, like that little screen.
I think that's called tabletop mode.
Have you ever put your Switch down on a table and played
Yes.
it like that?
Only on flights.
Okay,
Yeah, I've done
but
that
you're,
before.
but you're
On a
right
flight?
there.
Yeah.
How? Wait, so that's confusing to me. Were you in like business class or anything?
No, but
Man.
You just gotta
you
do
can.
this. You put it right
you
there,
do,
and you
well,
just
do the
kinda,
slump because they did it in the Nintendo ad
No,
too.
you can find ways to hook it,
Oh,
like where the tray table
Well,
folds
see,
up.
so you're not even doing what they intend. You're not putting it on a table. You're like trying to hang it from.
I mean, you
something.
can do that too, but you can't see anything.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
He's gotta
If it were
slouch.
bigger, if it were
angle
the
is way
size of
too
an
sharp.
iPad,
Well,
and
it
it was
has to
sitting
lean
on a
back
table.
further, I think.
Yeah, if it had a little more
Yeah.
of an angle.
Specifically for an airplane. Because like even in the product shot of this dude on a plane, he has to slump way the
Yeah,
fuck
he
down.
totally does. You're
because
right.
you cannot see that thing if you're in cattle class. Hold on.
Was the
do they
slump?
actually show him slumping down?
Oh yeah, there
Yeah,
he
you're
is.
right.
His shoulders are all up and stuff.
Funny.
And
'Cause
then
I
he's,
tried
he's
this.
squinting because he can't see what the fucking words on Zelda
Yeah,
say.
look how-
That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, look how far away the seat in front of him is.
And
That's
yeah,
That
not,
too.
that's not most of us.
Yeah.
If it were the size of an iPad, you could easily put it in front of you on a little piece of table.
I just think is like the kickstand needs to go out further so it
Yeah.
reclines back more. But if it were bigger, that would work too.
Kickstand's just so flimsy that I'm worried
Yeah.
that any further back, it'll snap.
I've never had like they're supposed to come off.
Yeah.
I've tried, kind of, not really hard, but I've tried to kind of
pop
snap
right
it off, and I can't get it to come off.
Really? Oh, just muscle it.
I'm scared it'll break.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it's meant to be breakaway. The reason being that engineers at Nintendo figured that people would try to dock it with that thing out.
Oh.
So when a kid slams it down into a dock,
right,
they want to
right,
make sure
right.
it pops out instead of actually snapping and breaking.
Yeah.
So there's like little metal retention clips that are meant to flex and pop. It sounds terrible, but it's meant to come out.
And go back in, no problem. Oh, cool.
Yeah, it doesn't break. It's meant to be removable. Because they know what they're doing. They're pretty smart. But yeah, it's I would like all the obvious things like punch up in hardware spec. It'd be cool if a lot of people have made portable mobile docks and stuff. It would be cool if there were just like kind of like how Xbox has a dongle that like plugs into the bottom of the controller. It'd be kind of neat if there was just something like that. Like you just jam something in and then either
like a breakout cable for HDMI or something.
yeah.
I'm sure you can make that. I'm sure some
A lot of people have.
Yeah, people have made a lot
But
of
they've also
accessories.
kind of I've read reports that third-party accessories like that have fucked up switches.
Yeah, they got
Interesting.
bricked.
See, this
Oh,
is
really?
a fucking lie.
Yeah.
This is a lie.
Yeah, you're right.
But hey, man, it captures people's attention.
It works for Mario Kart. I've
totally
played
doesn't.
Mario Kart. Like, yeah, you can totally play Mario Kart like that,
Yeah,
but
like
that's because it's a simple enough game.
Yeah, things like that and snipper clippers and stuff.
Yeah.
The things
Yeah,
where you don't even have to
I've
see it
actually
that
played
much.
snippet clips like that on a table
Yeah.
with my mom. Yeah.
That's the only way I played it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, how would you play it?
Yeah, the one person holds
It'd be
half.
really hard.
And actually, Omar, have you used that little dog grip thing that you slide the Joy-Cons into to turn it into a more of a traditional
Not
controller?
really, because I did play with it before I got a pro controller, but they're too close together
They're
for
pretty-
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just
I
all
don't
those
like that
things
either.
make my hands hurt, and my hands shouldn't hurt from playing
That
video
sucks.
games.
No, I agree. The other thing that I kind of going back to playing games on an airplane, it's like I can't leave it on the table because the display angle's so sharp that like you can't see it. But also like maybe this is just me getting older, having bad posture. But if I'm like doing this for hours, my like back and neck start to hurt, especially because airplane seats suck. So it's like I have to do this to like keep a neutral posture, but then my like arms start shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, your shoulders start to burn out.
Yeah.
So my idea for the Switch, actually, I think somebody's already making this, but like some kind of chest-mounted rack that just holds it right in front of me. And when
That
I
would be
turn-
cool. And then you can play with a pro controller.
Yeah.
So instead of like a
Yeah.
GoPro sitting in front of you, it's just your Switch screen.
I like that a
Yes.
lot.
and then when the
I'd do it. I don't care how lame it looks.
For
beverage rack
Jacob, I've
comes
seen
through,
that for
clean 'em out
for
with a
beds.
Laying down.
Yeah,
This is-
like you put it on your headboard
Oh,
or
it's
whatever, and it
perfect.
comes up over your top.
this is too like Back to the Future Part 2, but it would be neat if I could just have the Switch on me. And I know like I don't know, I don't think the Switch supports Bluetooth, does it?
I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it totally is. Because you
Yeah.
can use 8-bit controllers with it.
Okay. What I would like is like Bluetooth glasses. So with audio and video, so I just put on my Switch glasses and like my Switch is in my backpack and I can just have a controller like playing shit on an airplane. That way I don't have to like crane my head down or anything.
Interesting. I wonder
then-
if that would work.
That is the future.
And then
Yeah.
whenever I'm in a podcast, I can just be playing games and not have to like look at people or anything.
Have it be like one of those two-way mirrors so it looks like you're looking directly
Yeah.
at it, but you're totally not.
The front are just two open eyes. It's like all those. I love those VR headsets that just have eye stickers on the front.
Yeah.
When somebody turns to you.
Yeah, like googly eyes and stuff is good too.
Well, any parting wishes for a PS5 or Switch 2?
PS5
just-
glasses.
Just get good. Bloodborne 2.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Bloodborne 2. Although, I don't know. There was that tease, Death Comes or whatever it was for FromSoft.
Yeah, the one at the
That's the
Game
thing you were
Awards.
talking about yesterday?
Yeah.
That really seemed like Bloodborne 2. but
Yeah, I
maybe
don't
it's not.
know. Oh, it didn't have a name, did it? I didn't think they called it anything.
No, there was just a slogan on it.
Oh,
Shadows
right.
Die Twice.
Shadows
Wait,
Die Twice, that's right.
Never click the first one. 11 minute 30. You can't trick me. Vati Vidya.
Oh, he's the most popular Bloodborne YouTuber.
Oh, yeah?
Vati,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, then I guess you
Does he
you
do
earned
all
it.
those lore videos?
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
Those are crazy.
So, I guess in addition, hey, PS5, what I would like, it looks so gnarly.
This has got to be Bloodborne. Look at it.
I still don't know what it is.
It looks like a torture device.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, go
a
back to
bone supporting some kind of like a very taut, blood-soaked rope.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But wait, so it's wrapped around that, but then it's like tied up here.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's somebody's arm and there's a bone.
It's a weapon.
But if it's
a Gatling,
It's gotta be
I
a
think
weapon.
you're right. It's a weapon.
it's got to be some kind of like shoot out a grappling hook kind of thing.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think you're right.
There's some twisting in the
But
middle.
the
there.
tension, though, it looks like there's so much tension there.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
that from?
Grappling
Like
hook.
it's
maybe?
winding
Yeah.
up the rope.
Yeah.
But what I would like is PS5. I want to hit a button and have Vati Video or whatever, like pop up and just sort of quietly and supportively be in the background while I play. And then if I have any lore questions, I can just ask them and be like, "Oh, this is what this boss
That
is all
sounds great.
about."
Yeah.
Or
Also,
like-
crossplay.
Crossplay would be good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Man, what about that though? Annotated.
Crossplay with what? With other systems?
Yeah, they're the only ones that aren't crossplay on Fortnite. Is PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
They can't. You can't play PC to PS4.
No,
Nope.
you can't crossplay with anything on PS4.
Microsoft trying to open it up because they also kind of own PC.
Well, same as Rocket League though. Like Rocket
Yeah.
League's crossplay on every platform.
Which is the game that happened recently where they kind of accidentally turned that on for a
yeah,
minute?
that was Fortnite.
That was
totally
Fortnite.
wasn't
That
an
was-
accident.
Yeah. So okay.
They were like, wait. There's suddenly PS4 usernames in here? Or no, it was like someone playing on PS4 could see someone with a username that would only make sense on Xbox Live because of the characters.
Oh,
And then
I
they were
see.
like, oh, wait. Oh, we pressed the wrong button. Turn it off, I guess.
Oops.
All right, let's round it out. The usual system or show ending. Gotta net hard here.
All right.
But all right,
Not
Flopatron's still
too
going.
shabby.
yeah. Well,
Wow.
he came and went. That was one of the. I can't spoil that. That was one of the classics, and the Flopatron is soon entering the Hall of Fame, which doesn't exist despite the implorations of the audience. But I am listening. Maybe we'll retire this one too. Big Knee Lover had a pretty amazing run too.
Man, that is like history now.
Yeah, so it's in the annals of Dude Soup. So this is the Flopatron. It is it's a stack of old computer hardware that has been repurposed and programmed to play songs, and the covers are pretty goddamn impressive.
Oh my goodness.
This blows me away.
And it charms me every time.
I don't know how does somebody think this? You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
what note did they hear come out of their disk drive that made them think, you know what? I'm gonna make a fucking music out of this thing.
I don't know, man. It's impressive. If you've ever heard a dot matrix printer, it's grating and horrible.
Yeah.
But it is slightly musical, so I get that. But yeah, for all the clicking and the percussion and stuff, that's totally crazy.
Man.
Yeah, it's got like harmonies.
It's
I wonder
all
how long it takes
these
to program.
floppy drives that blow me away.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. All right.
Damn.
So that's nutting pretty hard, but
All right.
this one's pretty good too.
Contender.
So this is a Steam Workshop page. This is the Krista Wang player model, an NPC. Let me read the description here. The question isn't why, but it's why not. Anyways, here's Krista Wang, a girl that I met in science class back in 2012. I wanted to get her attention back in 2012, but I was the shy kid in the corner at the time. I thought that maybe making something like this would get her to like me since I can't talk to her. However, during that time, I lacked the skill and knowledge to make this. I literally fucked up my school grades in the next 2.5 years of high school just to learn how to make this. After years of enduring pain, suffering, and the consequences of not properly graduating, and the absence of this girl, I finally made it. And it's already too late for me to get her. Little crying emoji. Sorry for the bad grammar. I've been up all night making this model, so expect some grammar errors on the description. I'm not going to add any new outfits for this one. I might have to remake her from scratch at some point due to the fact that the original model can only be pushed to a certain limit. And then it goes
this
on.
is verging on disgusting, right?
Okay, I've removed the Instagram page since everyone wanted it to be gone. Seriously, this is just as cringy as those love songs in my view. I don't get why it's creepy. Sadly, I don't know what he's referring to. Requirements, nothing, hopefully. Hopefully there won't be any bugs unless you have an assload of add-ons and it won't load up. Can't do anything to fix that, really. So there she is, the apple of this gentleman's eye.
Oh, she can use a gun.
Yeah.
She can do anything.
She can do everything.
She just looks like Velma from Scooby-Doo.
She does.
Yeah.
She's beautiful and perfect.
Wow.
And this dude spent 3 years making her instead of
3
going
years.
to
I mean, it's
school.
a pretty good
He's
character model.
Ripped him out of Shenmue.
Kind of looks like it, yeah.
She looks pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. Maybe he'll land a job at a game dev studio and hopefully...
Comments.
And then,
Oh, boy.
top comment, this is awful.
Please
die?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
He already sacrificed so much.
There had to have been something worse in there that doesn't exist anymore, right?
This one's pretty... This comment's pretty great. If you're ever feeling suicidal, just remember you aren't the guy who spent 2 years of his life creating a model for a 14-year-old game of some girl you went to date in high school.
That's a warning for everybody else.
Oh
my
Wow.
goodness. Oh no.
So yeah, the
say,
comments are
can you short?
not comment. The
Not
comments
too
are not
supportive.
kind. No, of this poor man and his lonely quest. Oh, that's
Oh man.
So anyway,
Is-
What?
this
I
is
want
for
to see what her
Gary's mod?
Instagram is.
that's for Gary's mod. Yeah, I'm guessing he made a song for her. But then again, this is well after apparently she's graduated high school and moved on with her
Yeah.
life. And I guess he flunked.
I wonder if she's seen it.
Credits Rockstar Games for majority of the model.
Oh, that's interesting.
I wonder which game it came from. Popular discussions? Okay. Well,
Oh gosh.
Look,
Well, she
I'm
got a
gonna
little flag on there.
unsurprisingly vote for the Flopatron.
Oh,
Yeah.
thought this one was good.
No.
Well, this one makes me sad.
This one has
Yeah.
like weird, like gross subtext to it.
What
I
do you
don't
mean?
think
I
it's
guess-
that creepy.
He just
I
made a
think that
doll of
creepy
her that
stuff
he can
just
do whatever he
doesn't
wants
How
to
much
do.
there
does it?
anymore.
How much does it actually look?
Yeah,
like
you might be
her?
right. You removed the creepy stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he got shit from people for being creepy,
So
so
he's
he took out
conscious
the
of
creepy
it.
stuff.
Fix the
And
sky.
he
Fix the
he did.
skirt.
Yeah, see?
What was wrong with the sky?
It was way too short
Oh,
before.
Oh no!
And it's not very long
Oh, what
now.
is that?
sounds
What
like
is this?
Mr. Spider. Is that his name?
I guess that's his username.
Oh, I thought it said sincere fuck you to Mr. Spider, which would have been much more exciting.
This is a little discussion here. It sounds like your parents didn't treat you very well, but this girl and her boyfriend didn't really do anything. They may not be fantastic people, but they haven't actually done anything seriously wrong to you. You got really attached to an attractive stranger, but you can't let that be the defining story of your life. This is very helpful.
Finally, some support.
Finally.
Wow.
All right, so we got one vote for Flopatron. Omar or Jacob, you guys want
You
to?
got 2 votes for Flopatron.
All right, Flopatron wins again then.
Let's see.
Jacob, for record-keeping purposes, what are you gonna vote for?
You know what? Because they know that they're creepy, and that, like, I don't know. It's he sounds like he like ruined his life making this model. So just for Mr. Spider, I'll give it to him.
Okay, that's nice.
Always a contrarian.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Crank some more Flopatron. Jailhouse Rock.
There, that's nice.
At what point do the Hall of Famers contend with each other?
People have suggested that there's like a League of Champions.
Do you remember what voted out Not Too Shabby? Because I thought that was great.
Oh, I'll have to go back and find it. I mean,
Was it Flopatron?
it might have been
Flopatron.
actually.
Flopatron's a strong one.
I have detailed notes chronicling all of the hard nuts.
This one just came out.
Yeah, no, the Flopatron is still
Yeah,
active.
right on the pulse.
All right, well, hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Both to my guests, Jacob, Lana, Omar, thank you. And to all of you, viewers and listeners, appreciate it. Hopefully this discussion has stimulated you, entertained you, made you think about sweet PlayStation glasses that are surely around the horizon. Releasing 2018. You can take that to the bank. We'll see you at E3.
They're redoing Google Glass. Right, that's what it's called?
Really?
Oh my
Didn't
goodness.
they also get a patent for contact lenses? I think Sony was the ones who tried to do that for contact lenses that will like give you optic. Yeah.
I want that badly.
PlayStation contact lenses.
Yeah.
Man, I finally got my cyber bike.
That's where Adam's at right now.
Yeah, you're right.
He left for that.
Getting his super cyber contacts. It's like Bruce is swapping in for the post show.
Whatever you want.
Speaking of, post show coming up right next if you're watching live, or if you have a first subscription that's available on the Rooster Teeth website. Just one quick reminder again, Thursday 26th, April 26th, we're doing our live show, teaching the Tiberius method to the unwashed masses, the sexless, the fat, the ugly, the poor. Come to us and we'll fix all your life problems in 2 hours, provided you buy a ticket. Parking not validated. That's, again, to get tickets, that's bit.ly/FHLive2, bit.ly/FHLive2. And we'll see you next week. Thanks again for joining us. And if you're watching live, again, post show coming right up. So thanks, everybody. Bye.
A U.S.-born lesbian of color also living in India. Both the fans stated that they were HIV positive and both had main blogs of their own. Together, they ran the HIV Living Tumblr for over a year until Naj linked to her Cash.me fundraiser asking for help for medical expenses. Digoxin Purpurpia, another Hamilton fan,